Hello and welcome back to our Georgian Farmhouse renovation, where this week I'm showing you the first two rooms that we did when we moved into the house. This reception room was advertised as bedroom 5, which is downstairs, but on the previous listing it was advertised as a dining room. As you come into the hallway, it's the first room on the right, and we thought it would be perfect as a playroom for our 3-year-old daughter Everly. We wanted to get it done in time for her birthday, so it was quite a tight turnaround of about 3 weeks, and we needed to do it on quite a tight budget as well. We decided to go for chalkboard paint, and then she can just go crazy writing all over the walls, but only these walls, no other walls. You can see here that there are big gaps between the walls and the door frames, so John just used some architrave to fill those gaps. Everly is obviously very big into her architraves, so this was definitely for her. And this is what we finished with, and we did meet the deadline, woohoo! Playroom was the first room that we renovated when we moved in. We did it in time for Everly's 2nd birthday. Yes, that's right. And she loves it. She does love it. She spends most of her time in here. She has a whale of a time. And that's the important thing. But there were things that I would do differently. I think we did it with a really small budget. We had the cost of the paint. So we had like some chalkboard paint down here, just a regular emulsion. And maybe that sign from Etsy was about £50 maybe. I'm out of breath. So the cost of this whole room was pretty cheap, maybe less than £200. We bought a couple of bits as well for her to play with. But yeah, it was a cheap room. And we just moved in. So obviously the cost of buying a house and the stamp duty and all the moving fees and the legal fees and all that jazz, it was expensive. So this was key to being a cheap room. If we were to do it again, I had an idea just after we'd finished it, and I was like, oh, that's a bummer. So I thought, how cool would it have been to have a swing hanging from the ceiling up here, like a really cool swing, and swing into a ball pool on the ground. I mean, would that not be the coolest thing you've ever seen in your whole entire life? Probably. I've also seen those ones where they almost have like a soft play on the back wall, which again would be really cool. It'd be really interesting, really fun for her. Maybe a little bit unrealistic though, because you can buy them, but they're an absolute fortune, and it's just insane. It's never going to happen. But I think if I were to do it again, I would have quite liked the swing idea. I would have quite liked the ball pool idea. She's got a ball pool, but it's a little circular one. And actually saying that, I'm just thinking about it out loud, the balls do get everywhere in a very, very annoying way. Like, not in a fun way. Balls being everywhere, not in a fun way. In an annoying way. They're just all over the floor. So maybe actually that's a really bad idea. It is chaos all of the time. As you can clearly see behind me. Yeah, that's life. That's life, isn't it? But everybody loves it, and that's the important thing. Yeah. So now onto the snug, which is basically a more casual, kind of cosy living room. This room is just off the kitchen, so we knew that we'd spend a lot of time in here. One of the first things that I did was ask for some quotes for this alcove to have built-in cupboards, but they were coming out at around £2,000, which we just couldn't afford. So what do? We marry a John. So we bought MDF sheets to make the frame and the carcass for our alcove cupboard, and you can get 3 cuts for free at like a DIY and hardware stores, and then after that they only cost 50p. Once we'd done that and John had built the doors and put them on, we wanted to add some more detail in to make it look a bit more professional. So we added some beading, and then before we could paint it, we turned our attention to this back wall. It's an external wall, so it had quite a lot of damp, as you could see before. So we thought, let's just get stuck in and find out what's actually going on back here. The plasterboard inside was wet, so we just had to get that out and try and fix it, basically. We did some research on heritage websites, and we found these things called dry rods, which we stuck into the wall and then plastered it over again after letting it breathe for a bit. The colour's looking nice though. I'm a fan of the colour. Needs a second coat of, but it's looking cool here. We're going to paint the radiator because it's an eyesore. It's just a big white stupid thing. So after finishing the alcove cupboard, adding brick slips to around the fireplace, adding some new lighting, sorting the damp proofing and finishing the painting, we're finally ready to add some furniture. Gosh, look how greasy I am. What the heck? Anywho, we're in the snug, the dark green room, which is a fly. Get away. When we first were decorating the snug, this was the second room that we renovated when we moved in. And as you've seen from the video, where's that finger coming from? Get away, Craddock. Yeah, so when we first put the sample on the wall, both me and John were like, a bit dark, isn't it? And then I had a vision in my mind, which now I know is called dark academia, not the visions in my head, that's probably called something else, but the style I had, I didn't know it was called that. I just knew I wanted dark, cozy, moody, kind of cool vibes. And so when John and I were like, that sample is really dark, I'm a bit scared of it, I thought, let's just go with it, man. Just go with it. It's all good. It's all good. And we did. And I'm so glad we did because it looks banging, in my humble opinion. Lovely Angus. Oh, hello, hello, hello. So, yeah, very, very pleased with this room. There's only a couple of things I would change in here, having learnt now we've finished it. That over here, I wanted originally 2 paintings kind of side by side. But that was from Dunelm, that one. Kind of hard to mirror, and it was about £120, which is quite expensive, isn't it? So to buy another one was a bit like oof. And also they don't do another one that's different, they just do 2 of the same, and I thought 2 of the same looks a bit meh. So just the one for now. Maybe in the future we'll buy another one when things don't cost the earth. And secondly, if we come over here, where we have next to the fireplace this really small, it's a weird alcove. So I have no idea. Why is there a huge one? Why is there a tiny one? Why isn't this symmetrical? It bothers me a little bit, but it is what it is. We got to go with it. So this one here, I did want shelving, like shelf, all the way to the top to have our logs for the fire. And then somebody on Instagram suggested we just stack the logs up anyway, regardless of no shelves, which is a genius idea. I don't know why I didn't think of it, because I'm obviously not a genius, that's why. So putting the logs up, we just haven't done it yet because we haven't bought any logs. Oh, I just walked into the table, oh dear. And it comes straight off the kitchen, as you can see, which we'll get to all in good time. But yeah, very pleased with this room. We spend all of our time in here, we just sit, really. One of my favourite hobbies is just sitting. I enjoy a good sit. Am I on my own with that? Does anybody else enjoy a good sit? It's nice, isn't it, just to sit down? Yeah. Anyway, there are 18 rooms in our house, and that was just 2 of them. So if you want to see how we renovate the rest of them and tackle things like damp, non-regulation electrics, cracks in the wall, more damp, then like and subscribe. That's what they say, don't they?